bringing you the significant impacts across our area as this snowstorm comes in. So with that, let's get to our Majestic Storm, who is in the Live Impact studio right now. She is very busy.
She's a busy bee.
I mean, she's always busy, but today,
she's particularly busy.
Traffic,
Yes.
and now weather. Hopefully traffic wasn't too bad this morning. It's been a dream of a commute, really, every morning because of all the delays, right?
Yeah, but I suspect that over the next few days, it is going to be very busy as well. We want to start talking about the weather forecast because if you're just turning on the stream and you maybe haven't been paying attention to the weather forecast, well, you got a big surprise coming. We're looking at a big winter snowstorm that's heading our way, planned for a snow day tomorrow. Over the next 3 days, this is kind of our broad picture perspective as to what you need to be ready for. Today, a high of 41 degrees, cloudy skies. I'm not really seeing any impacts for us throughout our daytime hours. Now, if you're in the mountains, you're going to start to tap into a little bit of moisture as we're heading into the afternoon, and by moisture, yes, I mean snow. This is our typical nor'easter setup. So what we like about this is that there's no confusion as to what kind of precipitation we're going to get. Are we getting sleet or ice? I mean, no, this is all going to be coming down as snow, and we need to be prepared for accumulating snow. This weekend's weather forecast brings in a lot of different elements. Snow being number one, wind being number two, and then bitter cold Arctic air behind it. Tomorrow's forecast, 26 degrees. That's our daytime high, so not even reaching freezing, and we'll have that snow falling for several hours. Sunday I'm actually kind of looking forward to. Yes, it's going to be cold, especially once you add in the wind, but it's going to be sunny, gorgeous, with a blanket of snow all across the Carolinas. If you're maybe a photographer who likes to get outside and you like to take those gorgeous pictures, Sunday is going to be the day. Now, this is very interesting. Look at this. These are our storm alerts, our winter storm alerts, Saturday through Sunday. The National Weather Service will issue these, and every single county across both North and South Carolina currently going to be under that winter storm warning or a winter storm watch this weekend. So lots of people gearing up, getting ready for a major winter storm system. And when we're talking about snow, we're talking about accumulating snow, yes, in the mountains, yes, in the city, and even over in the beach areas. So a lot going on. And remember, it's not just the snow. It's also going to be the wind. We'll talk about that. But let's start talking about how much snow we're actually going to see. We started talking about this a lot yesterday, diving into the different places of how much snow you could see. Of course, Chris was really fine-tuning the forecast this morning. We've talked about it. We have agreement that we think there could even be a little more than what we were thinking yesterday. All areas shaded in that dark blue, that's basically the majority of our viewing area. Ready for this? 4 to 7 inches of snow. 4 being the bare minimum, 7 kind of being that top amount. Now, I think the biggest problem with this forecast is if we have anything that kind of throws those numbers off, it's going to be dry air. Remember, as that snow falls, sometimes it reaches this area of dry air and it kind of just eats up that moisture. However, this storm system will be ongoing for hours. So we're going to have basically all throughout the day on Saturday for that snow to fall and for it to accumulate. Now, if you're up in the mountains, Ashe, Watauga, Avery counties, if you live in the mountains, you probably like the snow. I know lots of those local ski resorts are excited to not have to make their own snow. They're going to have plenty of snow being made by Mother Nature. But areas like Boone and Blowing Rock, I mean, we're looking at anywhere from about 7 to 9 inches of snow for you guys, and that's what we're seeing right east of I-95 as well. That's likely where we're going to see the greatest totals. But the last time Charlotte even saw just 1 inch of snow, that was back in 2022. So this is a big, huge, dramatic change as to what we've seen over the last several years with not even seeing snow. Overall, you can see as we're looking at snow potential, this is all across the Carolinas where that snow is going to fall over the next several days. We have, of course, the higher totals just to the east of us, but I mean, we're really in a spot that if you don't think the snow's coming, well, you're going to be very surprised on Saturday. You're going to be waking up to snow falling as you're drinking your coffee, as those kids are waking up, maybe begging to put on their snow gear and head out to play in the snow. We're confident we're getting at least 1 to 2 inches of snow. 4 inches, 86%. I mean, that's pretty good. Again, some of those totals even higher than that. So what are the greatest impacts that we'll be focusing on this weekend? Of course, the accumulating snow. I mean, that's a big deal here in the Carolinas to see that much snow even in and around the Charlotte metro area. Traveling also going to be a concern. If you have someplace to be on Saturday, hopefully you already postponed those plans. If you're an essential worker and you have no other option, make sure you allow for plenty of time to get to where you need to be. And bottom line, as somebody who has drove in the snow a lot, just drive slow. We like driving in snow better than we do on ice because it actually has a lot more traction, but you'd still have to drive slow. As far as power outages go, I don't think we'll have a huge amount of power outages compared to what we saw with the ice storm, because primarily this is going to be snow that's very light and fluffy. I think the bigger concern with those power outages could be the strong winds associated with this front or with this system that's going to be scooting up the East Coast. So let's get to the Futurecast. I know lots of you like to kind of see what radar could possibly look like. Starting this afternoon, here's 2 o'clock. Again, not seeing any impacts in and around Charlotte. Little breezy at times, cloudy skies, and temperatures today. Remember, it stays cold. We're only rising into the low 40s. We should be in the low 50s for this time of the year. Heading into tonight, here's 8 o'clock. So if you're watching from the mountains, yes, you'll start to tap into some of that moisture. And then waking up tomorrow morning, I know we all wake up at different times. Here's 6 o'clock. I think at least we'll start to have some snow falling in Charlotte, some light snow at that point. And then as we progress throughout the day, there's 11 o'clock on Saturday. At this point, I'm noticing a couple of different things. We're basically seeing widespread snow across our viewing area by 11 o'clock on Saturday. Cold temperatures, gusty winds, but I'm also seeing shades of darker blues. With that, the darker the blue, the heavier the snow. So there will be bands of snow that sets up and we'll get heavier precipitation amounts. However, I'm not saying everyone is going to see really heavy snow throughout the day. It's going to be maybe light and flurries in one spot, moderates in other, and then actually really heavy snow in other spots. So that's kind of the tricky spot of this winter weather forecast, is we can't necessarily tell you where those heavier bands of snow will set up. Here's 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. We are still going. I mean, we're going to be into the thick of things by that point. If you think we're done by dinner time on Saturday, you better think again. Ongoing snow that's going to linger for hours. I think that's a huge part of the forecast because, you know, some people are thinking, it's not going to happen because it hasn't happened for a while. But I think with this one, we have so many hours of the day where our models are agreeing that snow is going to fall. It's not just a couple of hours in the morning and then we're done. I'm talking about by the time you're waking up, to the time you're going to sleep, the snow is going to be falling. And then once we fast forward just a bit more heading into Sunday we don't have any more snow. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be very cold, and that's when our weather story transitions from the snow to that very, very cold air. Those winds are going to be a big part of the forecast. So as those kids are outside playing, maybe you don't have kids, you want to just walk your dog outside, let them run and play, or you don't even want to go out in it, you're going to notice that snow is going to be drifting and blowing all around because we will have strong northeasterly winds. Some of our winds, not out of the question to gust up to around 30 to 35 miles an hour. So yeah, that's going to reduce down visibility, not making for great travel, especially if you have to be out and about. But also, the winds make it feel significantly colder. And remember, our high temperature on Saturday doesn't even reach freezing. So how cold is it actually going to feel? Let's talk about our wind chills. Remember, that's the combination of our air temperature with the wind. You step outside, that's going to be the temperature that it actually feels like on your skin. 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, snow's coming down all across the area. We'll have heavy bands of snow probably around that point as well. Feeling like we're at 5 degrees in Charlotte. Remember, air temperature around 26, but feeling like 5. In the mountains, sub-zero feel-like temperatures. And honestly, it gets way worse as we're heading through Sunday. Sunday's going to feel like we're in the single digits at times in the Charlotte metro area, so similar to Saturday. But the focus will really be up in the mountains as well. At times, I wouldn't be surprised to see some of those wind chills dropping down to 20 to 25 below zero. So dangerously cold conditions. You don't want to be out when it's that cold. I mean, we're talking about hypothermia in little to no time. And if you have pets, please make sure they're inside. It's going to be absolutely so cold for everyone. As far as those winter impacts go, just want to show you this graphic really quick as we're looking at Saturday's winter storm system. Remember, this is a Saturday event that we're looking at the snow. The winds will create that drifting and blowing snow. And I will mention that this is a snow that's very light. It's fluffy. It's easy to remove off your car. It's easy to shovel. It's not that heavy snow that kind of hurts your back if you're shoveling. So that's the upside. And it actually does make for great sledding and fun conditions to play out in. But if your kids want to play out, which I know they will because I was in the storm tracker tracking this last storm when there was sleet and ice, and there was tons of families just sliding on ice. Very excited. So I think a lot of people are, they're kind of looking forward to this event because it's so different. It's so out of the ordinary. I know there's a handful who don't even want anything to do with it, but I know that there's a lot of people who are just going to make the most of it. And like we've mentioned, this is a Saturday. Make it a fun Saturday snow day. 28 degrees on Saturday, 31 for our high on Sunday. We'll start to see temperatures climb into next week. Those single-digit temperatures on Monday, I mean, that is going to be brutal. Single digits, we're talking about 7 degrees Monday morning. That is going to be very cold, very dangerous, and if we have any wind, it's going to make it feel even colder than that. So, wrapping things up with our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Today, we're calling this the calm before the storm because it only makes sense. Tomorrow morning, we'll start to see that snow falling. Again, the highest totals will be up in the mountains and then east of I-95, but at this point, even in Charlotte, 4 to 7 inches, that is significant. And with that much snow, it's not going to melt anytime soon. So make sure once the snow comes to an end, if you can, you'll want to clear things away like your driveways, your parking lots, your stairs, whatever, because if you don't, it's going to just be all kind of iced over. Like some people still have that in their house or their driveways now because you didn't do anything last time.
Sidewalks.
Ice melt was sold out.
Yeah.
I still call every day this week. Everyone.
You call all the stores?
I called on my way in this morning because I was
Really?
going to make a pit stop at, the big old depot for the home.
Yeah.
Nope, they don't have any. So
I'm there too. My parking spot is like just iced. It's like if you're not paying attention, you're falling. You
Oh
gotta pay
no!
attention.
I walk very intentionally.
Yeah.
March, pick up my feet, so it's like I plant.
I've had to change my dog walking route because some of the sidewalks in my neighborhood are still iced over.
And the stairs I saw at my house were all iced over, and my dogs have to go down there to go to the bathroom, so I had to pound it away so at least the ice
They
is
can
off
walk
the stairs so they don't get hurt.
And what happens if I don't have a shovel? Because I don't.
I don't either.
They're sold out of those too.
I think I was going to ask my neighbor if I could use her leaf blower. Because this is going to be the kind of snow where, truthfully, you get that thing going and it will be fine.
Yeah,
That's what
why
a lot
not?
of people used to do where I was from.
Yeah,
when it's not that heavy snow.
Right.
That's all it takes. Or a broom.
Broom.
I mean, 7 inches, that's a bit
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
But, if you
That's
just have
good.
a small space and you're just like,
You're trying to get
Right.
stuff out.
You don't want to put it into the other neighbor's home, though.
No.
unless you don't like them. They'll say, whoops.
Ugh,
Whoopsie-doo.
Then they catch you on their Ring camera. Like, hey, gotcha. All right, Majestic, thank you so much
Thank you,
for
guys.
letting us in on the stuff.
All
The good old
snow.
snowy stuff. Thank you.
Of course.